About a month ago, I created a video titled The Waifus, where I gave the general analysis on what a waifu is, how to find the perfect one, and also listed out a few of my favorites. Now this video is somewhat similar in a way. I'm basically going to do a compare and contrast of different waifus, be it the same series or two different ones. I'll analyze what makes them appealing and give the final verdict, which could be both a popular opinion and an opinion of my own. The series will be called The Better Girl. The picks of today's video are going to be Noelle and Mimosa from the series Black Clover. Didn't put much thought into this one, but I kind of wanted to start off on an easy note. Moreover, these two ain't half bad. Both are pretty decent waifus, but who's the better one, you may be asking? That's what I'm here for, to give the analysis and the verdict. First, we're going to start off by getting into Noelle's info. Noelle Silva is a noblewoman of the House of Silva, which, if it wasn't already apparent, is a family of royal status. She's 15, her birthday is November 15th, and her constellation is Scorpio. Oh yeah, did I mention her height? She's around 161 centimeters. Her eye color is pink, and if you couldn't tell, her hair color is silver. For her appearance, she has a slender build, and her hair is in pigtails, with the addition of having bangs over her forehead. She wears a pair of purple stud earrings with a cross-flory fitchy shape, and a silver bracelet on her left wrist. For her outfit, she wears a sleeveless backless short dress covered by a silver blazer. The blazer has a backless design with sleeves attached at the back that extend slightly beyond her elbows with gold colored cuffs. As an addition, on her legs she also wears silver colored leg warmers. Noelle's personality goes as follows. Due to being born into a noble family, she can seem arrogant and vain at times, often causing her to have difficulty admitting her failures. Hell, she may even go as far as to blame someone else for them. Noelle is pretty damn reserved on expressing her excitement for her achievements, so instead of expressing those feelings, she instead gives her usual stern face. But due to her being rejected by her own family due to her lack of control over her magic, Noelle had developed a slight inferiority complex towards her more accomplished brother, Noelle Silva. Additionally, she is skeptical of the people around her since she expects them to react the same way that her family did. To sum it up, basically, I guess we could say she's a tsundere. Next up, we have Mimosa Vermilion. Mimosa Vermilion is a noblewoman of the House of Vermilion and is, surprisingly enough, the cousin of Noelle. Her birthday is August 26th and her constellation is Virgo. Mimosa's height is 158 centimeters. She has yellow eyes and the more obvious vermilion colored hair. For her appearance, she has a more voluptuous build, meaning that she's more curvaceous than Noelle. As a noblewoman, she wears a more fancy outfit which consists of a puffy cream-colored sweater with long sleeves, white puffy short pants, and a brown corset. Beneath the corset, she also wears another lighter brown colored piece of fabric that has frilly edges. The corset is tied at the front with strings. Her footwear consists of a pair of boots that tightly fit her legs and extends above her knees. They are light-colored and have a split at the top in which are also kept together by strings. The boots also have frilly edges below the collars. On top of all of those, Mimosa also wears a dark red mantle, which has a white lining made of similar material as the rest of the mantle. Mimosa's personality goes as following. She is a rather polite and sweet girl who doesn't normally forget to show her smile while in conversation. Though behind her smile, she could also give out a rude comment. As a noblewoman, her behavior is quite the contrary from most other nobles and royals who like belittling everyone who is inferior to them. She tends to look deeper than those nobles and royals and appreciate people according to their worth. Such is her deep respect for Noelle for all the hard work she's been putting forward in an attempt to gain better control over her magic. Despite the verbal belittlement the other royals and nobles give her for her lack of control over her magic power, as well as her growing affection for Asta and her desire to become stronger because of him. It's also important to note that Mimosa is a rather clumsy person, especially during her childhood where she would hurt herself by tripping when there is nothing in her way. Wow. Now here's the fun part, comparing and contrasting the two girls. This part of the video from the name should be self-explanatory, but just in case any of y'all don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to be taking different aspects from the girls and explaining what makes them both different and similar to each other. Stuff like how good they are in combat, intellect and wit, adorableness, etc, etc. Noelle and Mimosa aren't very similar in combat from what has been shown of both of them in the series. Main example being how Noelle, up until the Undersea Temple arc, hadn't developed any offensive magic spells, so before then she was more along the lines of a support type in battle, with spells like Sea Dragon's Lair and Sea Dragon's Cradle, those mainly being defensive and transportation spells. But in the more recent arc, she got a transformation by the name of Valkyrie Armor, which gives her a huge power buff, and on top of that allows her to engage in close combat and long range combat. Noelle has also had tons of great character development, coming to terms with her crush on the main boy himself, as well as getting over her inferiority complex towards her siblings, shown when she defeated Solid with flying colors in the Royal Knights exam arc. Mimosa, on the other hand, is more or less a support type, but I will note that she is taking time to learn more offensive spells to become more of a use on the battlefield instead of just being a healing type mage. But one thing's for sure, as a healing and offensive type mage, she'll be of great use in battle, being able to tend to the wounds of her teammates and deal damage to the enemy. Main example being the Royal Knights exam arc, when she was paired up with Asta, and who will be known as Anonymous for the sake of not spoiling a really good character. She was able to keep up with both of them and was of some use, being a recovery mage and a work in progress offensive mage. Her main motivation for wanting to become stronger is her strong feelings for the main boy himself, so that motivates her to become a better mage and a better magic knight. Noelle and Mimosa greatly differ in personality, if you couldn't notice. Noelle being more arrogant and vain, and if you don't know what I mean by that, is that Noelle has an exaggerated sense in her own importance and abilities, and by vain I mean that she has a high opinion of her abilities and worth, and while her character has developed over time, and this has slowly been toned down, she still has that tsundere charm to her that's just very adorable in my opinion. While on the other hand, Mimosa is a lot more polite and sweet and chooses to appreciate people based on their worth. An all-around sweet girl, but keep in mind, behind her smile she could leave a rude and quite hurtful comment behind. In intellect and wit, Mimosa actually overtakes Noelle by just 1 extra point in the official data book, with her cleverness score being 4 out of 5 and Noelle's being 3 out of 5. But in terms of adorableness, that's actually a really tough one to answer without sounding biased. Both of them have really great designs and overall look pretty great, with Noelle's outfit being quite the sight and Mimosa's being just as good. Obviously people would pick Noelle's outfit over Mimosa's because well, just look at it. Pretty revealing if you ask me. But in terms of adorableness, I personally think Mimosa has this one. She has a more gentle look that I just don't know how to explain it. But the more gentle look to her appeals to me more. See, I mean, I told y'all that it's going to be hard to answer without being biased as hell. So now for the final verdict of this video. By popular opinion, Noelle Silva is the better girl. I can see why many people would choose her over Mimosa as well. Good looks, she gets some of the best character development in the series, has a fairly decent personality, and is an actual useful female protagonist, which is something that you rarely see in Shonen Jump. I mean, just look at Sakura, yeah, Sakura Haruno. You know, she is good in combat, but overall was a pretty useless character when you think about it. Crazy though. Me personally, the choice was hard, but I overall choose Mimosa over Noelle, mainly because Mimosa is just all around amazing. For one, she's adorable as hell. The nice and sweet female character that she is just makes me like her even more as a character and a waifu. And also, I kind of started liking her more as soon as Ending 6 dropped, when it had that little scene of her dancing. That was just a quick note, that was off topic, but yeah. Mimosa's overall best girl for me, don't at me. Hey guys, if you made it this far into the video, then I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, it would mean a lot if you could go ahead and leave a like as well as subscribe, and be sure to click that little notification bell at the side so you won't miss out on a single video. Comment what your thoughts are on this video and if I should continue this little series of mine. If you have any suggestions for which waifus I should cover in the next video, then go ahead. I will do my best to provide you guys the content that you want and whatnot, but I'll also be doing my own thing as well, if you get what I mean. But enough of my rambling. For now, be strong, stay lit, have a good rest of your day or night wherever you live. Shibo out.